Hi, everybody. In this video, I'm going to discuss the KeyStore implementation for the release version of 7.5 and later of JasperReports server. So first of all, why we need the KeyStore? So this is JasperReports server web application, which consists of two parts. A web application part deployed under a web application server. And also we need to have a database to host JasperReports server repository. And this repository, sometimes we also call the profile database. This database contains a lot of user information and the resource information, also connection information. And when you deploy JasperReports server, we also populate the repository with minimum data. Those minimum data are crucial for JasperReports server to function. So in this data repository database, we have some passwords for user profile properties or JDBC driver connection information. And this password, if we store this one in a plain text, if somebody can run a SQL and get the content of those passwords, and people will know how to hack into the system. Definitely this will be a security concern. So what we do is to implement a KeyStore along with our application deployment. When JasperReports server is deployed, also we deploy a KeyStore. So in this KeyStore, it will use some algorithm to encrypt the password and store that passwords in this encrypted form. Therefore, nobody is able to figure out what the password is. Also, we use this KeyStore creates all those passwords using a special algorithm. Therefore, even though you enter the same passwords, it will generate different encrypted passwords. For instance, I have 3 passwords with the same plain text. You can see the value are all different. Therefore, people will not be able to basically do a reverse engineering to find a reverse function to figure out what the plain password is. So how JasperReports server implement this password and how it uses it. So during the implementation, we basically create 2 files, the JRS, which is the encryption seed file, and also a property directory, JRSKSP. They are stored by default in the system root. Under Windows, it will be under your user root. Under Linux, it's the Linux root. So the content of these 2 files, so let's go to, this is a user root under Linux, under Windows users, whatever user, and this is the file. You can see this is KeyStore file and this is a property file. So what's in this KeyStore file is basically a bunch of garbage. Right? So you need to have a special class method to decipher those things. Those are really Java related. And then the other property file is encoded in 64-base encoding. So what you can do is to, let me move this one around, to do a decode. You can see this is actual content. So this is the part basically used in conjunction with the seed, the other file, to encrypt a special passwords. Okay, those are seeds. So each server, these things are unique. Also, you'll notice there are some old deprecated keys which is for pre-7.5 encrypted passwords, just in case our user did an upgrade from a prior version, say 6.4 version, 7.2 version. Do an update in place, the encrypted key is not converted. And the JasperReports server is smart enough to basically try to use the current encryption key to figure out how to encrypt. If it failed, it tried this key. So hopefully it should be able to decrypt the old passwords and then encrypt with the new password and say back to the repository database. Okay, so this is the file during the installation. It creates this property file. Basically, this file tells JasperReports server where to find those key stores. So JasperReports server will come to this location, find the reference to here, and from here, it should say, okay, I need to use this seed to generate the key. So where is this key store is located? During the installation, it's stored under JasperReports Server Pro WebInf classes directory. And in here, it basically just tell you where to find this one. Okay, so it's just a pointer here. So how this one works is when user come in and try to enter a password for a data source or a user try to log in, type in a plain password. We go to the server go to the KeyStore, encrypt it, and then come back to the repository and then find that key. Save it or use this one to backwards, use this one to decrypt and match the passwords. If it match, user either can log in or you can connect to a remote data source. If it failed, you will get error, you'll get login screen again. So that is pretty much how this implementation works. So it's really nothing very special. And by the way, don't get confused with secure layer SSL. That one is for HTTP or HTTPS. It uses a different key, but that one also is configured at application server level, not a web application level. So the key store we are referring to is for JasperReports server web application to encrypt passwords in the repository. This one has nothing to do with HTTPS or HTTP. JasperReports server needs this key store in order to function properly. But JasperReports server doesn't really need HTTPS to function. That is the server configuration issue. I just want to make sure, okay? All right, so that is all I want to discuss. So for the information, you can find more information in JasperReports server security guide. Look for encryption, key, and key store management. Those chapter sections will give you more information. And this is a document, how document look like. Also, you can find an online copy of that security guide from this address. In addition, there are some useful web articles with regard to this KeyStore, new KeyStore deployment. So this is the link to that article, and I really recommend you to read this article as well. And also, of course, we have the other web posting where you can find all those information, the files, and so on and so forth. So that's all I want to present today. Thank you for the viewing. Okay, have a good one. Bye-bye.